For most of the songwriters who regularly attend these clubs, the friendships they build with other songwriters is paramount for motivating them to write new material. I spoke to George the Troubadour, a veteran singer-songwriter originally from France, but who plays around the UK and various parts of Europe, and asked him what he thought about the open mic system at the Virtually Acoustic Club.
What do you think of this open mic arrangement?
From David Sherwood, it is especially friendly and artful. You meet a lot of very interesting artists that you will see. Also, I met some of them. I met them in Paris.
Oh, so they go around all the different acoustic clubs.
It is a kind of meeting point for very interesting musicians, I think.
Also, do you feel more inspired to write songs when you come out and play at these places?
Definitely. Because you see if a song is really touching people or not. So this is really important.
So from the feedback from the audience, you can tell whether or what the material is like.
You can tell, you can see what is good and what is not so good. Especially for the songwriter circles. This is different from the entertaining. When you play at a party or whatever, you're playing different things, more known stuff.
The importance of audience feedback for the singers is not limited to the London open mic. Yeonok Jang writes about recent changes in the style of pansori singing in Korea. This style was originally one where the cheers from the audience helped to encourage and guide the singers in certain directions. The performers and audiences created the performance together in real time. The feedback songwriters receive can be an explicit verbal comment after the performance, but more often it is spontaneous audience participation during the performance, such as cheers, clapping, laughter, singing harmonies, stamping, banging objects, etc. Here are a couple of examples. Firstly, Okavanga, recorded at the Green Note, with a rare woman performer from Cape Town on rhythm guitar and her English boyfriend on lead guitar. The audience spontaneously clap along in flamenco style to encourage them and show their appreciation. The second clip is Alan Levy getting some spontaneous laughter for the lyrics on his topical Easter song.
On Good Friday, but he felt much better on Easter Monday. And love serves you. Well, Easter time's come, and the spring in the air.
Some of the more experienced singer-songwriters use a lot of improvisation within their performances, according to the audience response. Maybe adding an instrumental section or repeating the last chorus several times, or alternatively cutting out verses if they feel it isn't going well. There are also other subtle cues for the songwriter, such as absolute silence during a very moving song and only limited clapping at the end. This can be because the audience are not enthusiastic about the performance or uncomfortable with emotion, but often the subdued clapping is reflecting the audience's very sad mood. Some individuals may later go on to compliment the songwriter privately on how they were especially moved. Although there is no talking during the acts, there is a break halfway through both open mics when a lot of the verbal feedback and other conversations take place. Sometimes there's the opportunity to talk during the changeover of acts. Here's an example of this general social noise at the green note, followed by an emotional song from Daniel O'Byrne at the Perseverance.
When the riots raged around Atlanta, Georgia, put out their flames with a faith that wouldn't fail. Oh, hallelujah. He had the mighty lions roar. He never used the bloody lion's claw.
The intimate atmosphere created at these open mics and reflected in the songs is due to the organisation of space between the performer and the audience. Charles Seeger wrote, "Tactility is what we need to be more aware of. Closeness. Tactility holds us closest to what we're trying to communicate." I can identify three factors that bring people closer together in this instance: the physical space, the auditory space, and the shared experience. Altering these factors leads to a drastic change in the music-making process. Jang describes the consequences of changing the traditional setting of pansori. The genre lost much of its original character in that the performer and the audience could no longer build a close rapport with one another. At Bungees, there was no stage or amplification, no physical or auditory difference between audience and performer. Both were equal. Furthermore, the audience mostly consisted of performers, which resulted in closeness or equality through shared experience. When crowded, the performer was completely surrounded by people, which could be uncomfortable at times. The singer-songwriter's guitar would often bump into other people during the performance. Here is John Gash with "It's Easy to Be Terrified," played at Bungees in 1995.
It's easy to be terrified. I've seen the angels living, flying through the air in lines. I've seen the angels lean, stretched against the night sky. Dreams of life and peace receding, where men content to slaughter the people of this troubled city. It's easy to be outside when all the windows have been blown in. It seems so simple then, you don't have to think about it, think about it.
The main difference between Bungees, the older style folk club, and these newer acoustic open mics is the amplification. They also have small stages a couple of inches high and slightly larger rooms, but the amplification is the major difference. The voice becomes disembodied. Both voice and instrument are altered through the mixing desk and can sound like someone else's voice in tone and volume. At Bungees, there was nowhere to hide on a visual, auditory or personal level. The small amount of amplification and line of demarcation with the stage makes it easier for the songwriter to act out a new character or role on stage. Another difference is that at a purely acoustic venue, one had to learn to project the voice over the volume of the instrument. Conversely, one had to learn to adjust the guitar playing technique, making strumming softer or picking louder to balance it against the voice. However, most of the songwriters I saw at the newer venues had the skills to play unamplified. Here is Tom Nankolis at the Green Note.
Well, I could claim to be a troubadour. I claim cocaine was was in my veins, where a halo bound in innocence. What's the point? Lady Jane, oh Lady Jane, where my heart don't dance the same, same old Jane. Left that side in the rain.